What's good, Black Star Podcast? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Jared. Y'all, today we're going to be looking at a video from Nate the Lawyer. Apparently, a police chief got arrested for stealing not even almost, over $2 million in the undercover drug bust. Or I say undercover drug money. Law enforcement, we need to have a conversation.
The law, arrested and accused of stealing from his own department. Sergio Velasquez was Hialeah's top cop for nearly 10 years.
And during that time, prosecutors say he illegally pocketed hundreds of thousands of dollars.
In a period of time, he made purchases of more than $300,000 in Rolex watches, over $11,000 from Cartier, over $6,700 from Louis Vuitton, and over $5,000 from Versace.
So this police chief is accused of stealing undercover drug bust money so he can fund his lavish lifestyle. Let's talk about it. This is Sergio Velasquez. He was appointed to Hialeah's police chief position in 2012, making an annual salary of $211,000. Now, that amount made him one of the city's highest paid employees. Now, the Hialeah police chief was overseeing the department's narcotics division, which had buy and bust operations going on. So what happened is undercover cops would go and request money to buy drugs so they can set up drug dealers. And the way they would do that is with petty cash withdrawals. Now, during the chief's tenure, there were 147 checks, about $3.2 million worth of requests for this petty cash so they can buy drugs off the streets. Now, because this was an extreme amount of cash, tens of thousands of dollars in some cases, they were usually kept in a locked safe in the chief's office. And what place would be safer? It's literally in the police chief's office inside the police department. So if you're going to get to it, you had to have some balls. But you know who had access to it? The chief had access to it. Now, also kept in the safe was about $1 million in cash from court-ordered forfeitures. This is when the police go arrest drug dealers and so forth, and they have a whole bunch of cash. Well, they take that cash and also put it in the safe. So you had about $1 million worth of that stuff in there too.
Our investigation revealed that petty cash funds and money seized during criminal investigations were missing.
Between 2015 and 2021, investigators say checks totaling $2.8 million were issued to fund special investigations. Yet to this day, $2.6 million are still unaccounted for. Furthermore, officials say more than $1 million from 20 court-awarded civil forfeitures also went missing.
Now, Velasquez had a bank account, and the bank started becoming suspicious because Velasquez made over 900 cash deposits into his personal bank account, and all the amounts happened to be under $10,000. Well, this became...
So you telling me that this dirty cop made over 900 deposits under 10... Bruh. Law enforcement. When in the French toast are y'all gonna start? The legal system is crazy.
Became very suspicious to the bank for two reasons. Number one, most people don't get paid in cash, especially law enforcement, right? You get paid through checks. So that was very suspicious. So why is this person depositing large amounts of cash? Now, he could have a side business or something, but that's trip number one. Then you have part two, which is the Bank Secrecy Act. See, that $10,000 amount is very important because if you deposit over $10,000 or more into a bank account, the bank has to file, which is a form called a 4789, and it's under this law called the Bank Secrecy Act. See, I used to actually work at a bank and had to fill out this stupid form. Now, this was the anti-money laundering procedure at the bank. So if someone deposits large amounts of cash, you fill out the form and you let the feds know that, hey, this person just deposited 10 grand in their account. And then the feds would come to you later and say, hey, where'd you get this money from? But as long as you keep it under that 10 grand, then the feds will never know. But one thing people don't know is that if you make a lot of deposits that happen to all together add over $10,000, let's say in a month, then we also fill out a form and send it to the feds. Now, the chief may not have known this, but as an example, if I put one deposit of $4,500 in on the first of the month, and then by the end of the month I put another $7 grand in the account, well, we're going to fill out that form and say, hey, they put $10,000 in cash in their account this month. There may be an issue here. So that's why that $10,000 number triggered all the bank's procedures and started the investigation into the police chief.
Prosecutors say Velasquez would steal the cash for his own profit, then deposit it into his own accounts in increments under $10,000 to avoid being caught.
If you deposit more than $10,000, I believe this is the requirement, it gets reported. And it's a way to sort of monitor transactions that are made.
For instance, on October 28, 2020, records reveal Velasquez deposited $25,900 split between 3 accounts, broken up into 15 deposits, each one under $10,000.
Structuring in this manner is usually used by criminals to attempt to disguise the laundering of money which is obtained from criminal activity.
Now, along with that, there were 153 of these suspicious deposits, and nearly all of that money went to things like paying off his personal credit card debt, for instance. And the deposits also mirrored the timing of withdrawals from the department for petty cash for these buy and bust operations. And interestingly enough, when Velasquez was removed from the police chief's position, all of the cash deposits stopped at that same time.
They graph the timeline. The yellow line you see, money coming into the department, and the green line, what Velasquez was depositing into his personal accounts, a mirror image. And the timeline ends at the end of 2021 when a new city mayor suspended Velasquez from office, then giving no reason why.
Now, about the chief's firing. In late 2021, there was a whistleblower complaint. And that whistleblower was like, yo, hey, the chief is like just straight up taking the buy and bust cash, and we don't know what's happening with it. But the complaint was obviously anonymous. So when a new mayor came on board, the first thing he did was say, well, you know what, let's get a new police chief because...
So my question is this. How the French toast is there not any checks and balances when it comes to money in that amount in the possession of just one singular person, the police chief? I thought there was protocols to all of this shit. So what the hell?
Something doesn't seem right with what's going on at the department.
We're following some breaking news right now out of Hialeah. Hialeah's new mayor, Esteban Bobo, has just announced the departure of Sergio Velasquez as police chief. Chief Velasquez will be on leave with pay until the end of the year. Mayor Bobo has appointed Deputy Chief George Fuente as acting chief while a selection process is underway to find a new police chief.
So now, after the police chief was removed, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement decided to do an audit just to see how much money was missing, if any, and where it may have gone. And when they looked into the accounts, this is what they found.
Hialeah's former police chief, Sergio Velasquez, had more than his share of controversies during his decade. Now, this arrest narrative unspools a scheme involving the cash Hialeah's narcotics detective used as props for their undercover work, and also money the city received in drug forfeitures. When it came back, it ended up in the chief's office safe, and then, they allege, in his bank accounts.
The monies always came up missing, no matter who came and went. As a sergeant or a major, the chief was there.
So, with all this evidence, the police chief was eventually arrested for this corruption.
Hialeah's former top cop going before a judge today.
He's accused of illegally pocketing hundreds of thousands of dollars over the last 10 years.
Organized fraud, a first-degree felony, and grand theft a first-degree felony.
He stood silent. His lawyer did the talking. Former Hialeah Police Chief Sergio Velasquez, now criminal defendant, accused of systematically stealing from the department and people he led.
Based on what the court has announced, will enter plea of not guilty to all 3 counts.
He had to prove the money he paid to bond out of jail was actually his, and his wife sat in court fighting for what she says is hers.
Before she met Mr. Velasquez, she purchased a house.
Now, Velasquez bonded out of jail and didn't want to speak to reporters.
The former Hialeah police chief arrested and charged after being accused of stealing from the department, walking out of jail tonight.
One big question he failed to answer tonight is, where did the money go? Not a word from the once trusted former Hialeah top cop, now criminal defendant, bonding out of jail.
So it was a matter of time before I think this police chief got caught depositing millions of dollars in cash into an account that just simply appeared out of nowhere. That was going to get him caught up. Then you had the other internal investigation that got him, and the whistleblower complaint that said, hey, it seems like there's a lot of money missing, millions of dollars. But do you think the chief worked alone? It's going to be interesting to hear whether there was anyone else involved in this, because it's a lot of money. And if
Sir, I'm going to just say this. First of all, you the dummy. You the dumbass. Because your stupid, goofy ass literally got your ass arrested, yourself arrested, because you decided to be greedy and fucking dig in the cookie jar that you only had access to. Now, I don't suggest you should have did it. But the fact that your stupid ass did it, and they knew your motherfucking ass did it, you ought to be a damn ashamed of yourself. Sir, the shit that you... you can't make this shit up. At this point, sir, you deserve to get your ass knocked the fuck out in jail, because it's crazy. Anyways, like, share, subscribe, channel, support the podcast, support.com. I'll see you guys on the flip side. Thank you guys for watching. Dumbass. Bye, guys.